Hi, and welcome to freshmi.com. My name is Eric, and we are ready to create a texture for our DVD drawer. I'm going to be using a program called GIMP. You can use Photoshop or a similar program. Go to File, Open. There's our DVD drawer project folder, Images subfolder, and there's our UV snapshot that we did. I've got transparency in there, so that's why I saved it as a PNG file to keep the transparency. I'm going to click Open. Inside of GIMP, I'm going to open up the Layers dialog box. There we go. I'll move that down here. I'm going to start off by just renaming this layer to UVs. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to name this layer, say, light gray. I'm going to create another layer. And actually, let me delete this layer here. Sometimes you can drag it into the trash and it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work, just select the layer and then click on the trash button. Alright, click a new layer. I'm going to change it to transparency, that way everything's transparent. This is going to be light gray. I'm going to create another layer. We'll call this one medium gray. Create another layer. This one will be, let's see, dark gray. And one more layer. This will be black. You can name your layers however you want to. I'm just going to name them by color since that's basically what our texture is going to be, just different colors mainly. I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to call this one text. And one more layer, I'll call this background. And I want the background to be black, so right now the 4 color is black, so I'm just going to use the 4 color. Okay, and I'm going to select this background, and I want it to be at the very bottom of our list. I want it to be underneath everything, so I'm going to click this arrow and just keep clicking it until that's all the way to the bottom. Now we can see our UVs nicely. I want the UVs to be on the top, so I'm going to select and move that all the way to the top. Okay, now we're set up to start adding some colors. Let's start with the light gray. I'm going to select the light gray layer. I've got the square select tool highlighted. Just going to draw a square. And now I've got some handles here that I can adjust the size of that. Alright, make sure it's over these, covering all my UVs down here. These right here are going to be light colored gray, a really light colored gray. So let's click on our color swatch, change this to kind of a light grayish color. I can click on the paint select tool or the paint bucket tool. Click in there. So when we apply this texture, this is all going to be gray. Alright, let's do the medium gray. So I'm going to select the medium gray layer. Use my square select tool up here. And the medium gray is going to be this area here. Change to a medium gray color. Something about like that, I think. Click OK. Click on our paint bucket and then click inside our square selection. Alright, that's done. Let's go to, let's do the dark gray. Use our square select tool. The dark gray is going to be all this stuff up here. Alright, want to make sure I don't get down past where it's overlapping these UVs here. Alright, change our gray to a kind of a dark gray. Click OK, click on our paint bucket, and click inside. Okay, this right here is the foot pad, I believe, so that's going to be a really super dark gray or black. I named it black, but it's probably not quite black. So let's just make this color a little bit darker. Click on our paint bucket tool. We've got our layer selected or highlighted. Let's make our selection here, our square selection tool. We can actually just select this whole thing right there. Alright, paint bucket, and click inside there. Alright, so that's done. Actually make that a little bit darker, I think, even. Alright, there we go. This up here, I'm going to leave black because this is transparent, and black, let's see, white is going to be fully transparent, black is not. So as far as the texture goes, I'm just going to leave it black, and we're going to have some white lettering for our logo. Alright, so let's go to our text layer, use our square selection tool. And now I'm going to click on the letter A right here. That's our text tool. Now I'm just going to click where I want to add some text. So I'm going to click in there, and I'm going to type in, I'll just put logo. I don't know if there's any legal issues in using a brand name logo in this tutorial, so I'm just going to type in logo. Over here on the left, I can change it to, say, a bold. I can change the size. Now we can't really see the logo because it's black, so I'm going to change it to white color. So I'm going to click on this color swatch and change it to white. I'll just take the brightness all the way up, which will make it white. Alright, I'm just going to make this logo bigger. Maybe something about like that. And that's it. So I'm going to click on close. Alright, if you look, it kind of created this floating layer here. So I'm just going to select that layer, right click on it, and select merge down. Alright, so there's our text layer. We are done. That is our texture right there. To save this out, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file. That way, if I ever need to, I can go back into GIMP, open this up, and make more changes however I want to. So let's save it as a GIMP native file. So File, Save As, and I'm going to name this as, let's call this DVD drawer texture .xcf. .xcf is the GIMP file. I click Save. Alright, now I'm going to save out this as a texture, but I don't want my UVs. I don't want all these lines in my texture, so I'm just going to click on this over here in the Layers dialog. There's a little eye over here. I'm just going to click that button, and it hides that layer. Alright, we still got this little square selection tool highlighted over here. To get rid of that, I'm just going to click on the square selection, and I'm just going to click one time. I'm not going to click and drag, but I'm just going to click, and then it just gets rid of that. Alright, File, Save As. I'm going to name this .jpeg. We'll save it as a JPEG. And I'm going to click Save. And actually I want this in the Source Images folder, so I'm going to navigate to my Source Images folder and save it in there. Alright, export. Quality, I'm going to go ahead and do 100% quality and save. Alright, so now if we minimize everything and look into our DVD folder, there's our source images, and there's our DVD texture right there. So if we look at this texture, that's what our texture looks like. So now let's go inside Maya and apply that. Open up Maya, Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade. Over here in the left-hand column, I'm going to create, let's see, the body of this thing is going to be kind of a shiny, so I'm going to select Blend. I'm going to right-click on it, rename, and I'm going to rename this to shader underscore DVD, or we'll just say shader, yeah, DVD drawer underscore body. Alright, I'm going to select another one, blend, kind of zoom out. Right click, rename, shader underscore DVD drawer underscore door. That's going to be the transparent objects. And I'm going to do one more. It's going to be a Lambert because the feet pad are kind of a rubbery material, so we don't want any shine. Right click, rename, shader underscore DVD drawer underscore feet, or just say pads. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to create 3 of these with the same texture. Scroll down, select File. I'm going to double click, I'm double clicking on this file to open up the attributes. Here's the image name, which is a blank field. I'm going to click on the folder button to the far right so we can navigate, and there's our texture. I'm going to click Open. Alright, I'm going to use the same file for all 3 of these. You can create a separate one if you want. So I'm just going to middle mouse drag this, plug it into the color, middle mouse drag it, plug it into the color, middle mouse drag it to this bottom shader, plug it into the color. So we're using the same file, the same placement node for all 3 of these shaders. Alright, I'm going to select everything. So I just highlight everything, and then over here at the body, I'm going to right click, assign material to selection. So everything was assigned that texture. If you look, we've got everything just like it's supposed to be. So all the colors are exactly the way they're supposed to be because we used our UV snapshot. Okay, so for these feet, I'm going to select all these pads, and down here the pads shader, right click, assign material to selection, and all the transparent objects, I'm going to select all of those. And then right here on the door, right click, assign material to selection. Alright, we don't need this hyper shade really anymore, so I'm going to turn that off. Let's I'm going to select just like this door, something that's transparent. And if you look up in the attributes for it, you'll see at the far right the shader node. And down here where the transparency is, if we do transparency, it's going to add transparency to the whole thing, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to create another texture for the transparency part. But right now, we select everything, and then Control select the tray to deselect it. I'm going to press 3 on my keyboard to smooth shade everything. Everything's smooth, needs to be smooth except for the tray. That's why I deselected that. But if you look, all the colors are right where they're supposed to be. We've got the gray up here where it's supposed to be. We've got the light gray. We've got the darker grays in here. And then we've got this black, which is going to be for our transparency. And also down here on the feet. Now let's do this. I'm going to select everything and let's open up the UV texture editor. And that way you can see what happened here. Okay, we can't see our texture, so up here at the top, let's click on this RGB display. Now we can see our texture, so you can see where all the colors are, and you can see where all the different pieces of our object are. So just for example, this door, if I select all these UVs, if I move those around, you'll see it's going to move that logo right there. So I'm hoping you kind of understand how all this works now. Alright, let's work on the transparency for these doors. And actually, let's go ahead and stop there. The transparency might take a little while, so we'll just add another video just so we keep these from getting too long. So let's make sure we save our work. File, save scene as. I'm going to save this as DVD drawer underscore 8. And let's see, we've got our, pull GIMP back up. We've got this saved as a native, and we also saved it as, so that's all good right there. So if we close out GIMP, we can reopen that one file. So let me just kind of show you. I'm just going to close this out. So if I open GIMP back up, it should open the the file again. So let's go to GIMP, or we can just go inside of our images, and there's the GIMP file. So if we open this up, there's all our layers, everything that we can start making adjustments as we need to. Alright, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.